A three-year boom in luxury goods could be showing signs of fatigue as demand slows for high-end goods in places like China and Europe. Joining me for our latest Economy 2012 series is Jerome Griffith, CEO of Luxe bag maker Tumi. Good to see you here.
Thanks for having me.
So we just had news from a luxury maker, Burberry. It had a profit warning. Now you guys actually raised your profit outlook when you had your last earnings report. So how are you weathering all of this economic uncertainty?
I think we have an opportunity mostly because it's a smaller company. You know, I'm not a billion-dollar company yet. We're only going to do about $400 million this year. So we have lots of opportunities out there, places where we're not being distributed today. And funny enough, you know, as we change our product mix and become more lifestyle-oriented and more accessory-oriented, the consumer reacts really well. So we're getting it on the organic and the inorganic growth side.
Is that because there are lower price points?
No, not really. Most people that have been coming into the brand historically actually come in at a higher price point through either a briefcase or a piece of luggage. We've really pushed the accessories out there because we thought, geez, we're an accessory company. We should have people come in at a lower price point. And while the business has been going up, our average unit sale continues to go up. So it's an interesting phenomenon for us.
And is that consistent regionally? In other words, in a place like China where everyone is obsessed with what the slowdown story is there, what are you seeing in China?
Our Chinese business is still good. China is run by a couple of partners who also run other luxury good companies there. And we look at their sell-in and their sell-out, and our sell-out numbers still seem to be pretty strong in China. So we feel pretty confident with what's happening.
How about Europe? Are you concerned at all about that ongoing prices? No?
For me, no. Our business is relatively small still there. We're running great comp store increases right now. Our sell-ins at wholesale and our sell-outs at wholesale have been very good. The numbers that we announced last quarter too were much better than what the market is, and we still think that we've got a lot of room for growth there. Again, mostly because we're still a relatively small base.
Where are you focusing your growth regionally? Is it Asia, is it Europe, or is it the U.S.?
The U.S. is our largest market, and we have the largest potential here. So number one is still in America, and that's through our own retail stores and e-commerce and some wholesale partners. Number two is APAC. We will open up actually more stores in the Asia-Pacific region this year than we will in the United States.
And what are you talking about in terms of numbers this year?
We'll open up in North America 17 stores. We'll open up in Europe 2. Middle East, I think, is 4 or 5, and Asia's 22.
So in terms of what your expectations are in the U.S., you know, every day we read these stories and we talk about, oh, CEOs are uncertain, we have an election, we don't know what's going on with tax policies, we've got a fiscal cliff. I mean, does that impact your business at all, any of that?
It can, but we have not seen that happening to our business. The last 3 years have been very good years for us. We've had good, strong double-digit increases each year. We still see that out there. We still see good organic growth. Our comps are still relatively strong. So, listen, anything can happen, and sometimes things happen and you don't even know it's going to, but we try and stay very focused on just managing the product, making sure we've got great product, and making sure it's available.
So then what's the biggest risk for you day to day when you're running your business?
The biggest risks for me are really macroeconomic conditions. You know, if tax policy changes, if people stop traveling, if there's some sort of a crisis, if there's a terrorist attack. It's the things that are really out of my control that end up worrying us, but you know, you can't really affect it.
We talked about expansion earlier globally. What does that mean in terms of hiring for the company? What's your outlook in terms of staff additions?
We've been hiring this year. Our headquarters will grow about 7% when it comes to people, maybe 8%. Internationally and in stores, a lot of new people. You know, you figure for every store that you open, you're going to hire somewhere between 5 and 10 people. For every 10 stores that you open, you're going to have a district manager role. So we're actually growing out there and hiring. It's one of the big challenges for us is to bring people in and then train them. Because when you're selling our type of product, you need to be able to explain the value of the value to the consumer. And it takes a while to learn. And that's a big focus for us.
And are you seeing anywhere in terms of the production process any pricing pressures? I'm assuming you don't see it on the labor side, given the state of unemployment, but do you see any sort of slow bump up in pricing pressures anywhere?
At the beginning of the year, we thought there was going to be pressure from oil prices. A lot of our bags are made out of nylon, so that would cost leather. We thought there would be pressure there, but it's not been as bad as what we anticipated. And we've held prices relatively steady for the last few years. And we've been able to because we have a really great sourcing base. Our manufacturers work with us in order to value engineer things when we need to. So it's a challenge, but we've been able to manage it.
Can you raise prices in this environment?
Sometimes you can. We just came out with a new product called Tegra-Lite, which is made from super strong, super lightweight polypropylene. And they use it actually on military vehicles to protect against bomb blasts. And we've adapted it for luggage, and it is premium priced. And when we brought it out, sold out. So we're scrambling to get as much fabric as we can to make more.
All right, Tumi CEO Jerome Griffith, good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.